hyperactivity, impulsive, inattentive. These are the most common and well-known symptoms of ADHD. And while they are troublesome symptoms to have, they're really only the tip of the iceberg. In this video, I'm going to talk about the lesser-known symptoms of ADHD and what the true impact is on one's life. Hi, I'm Daniel, and this is Journey to Wellness. And here on this channel, I try to bring awareness to ADHD in adulthood because it's kind of the lesser known side of ADHD. So if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on one of my videos. Now let's get on with today's video. So just a few years ago, the before mentioned symptoms of ADHD were all that I knew about it. And it seems like the mainstream view of what ADHD is and how it impacts somebody is that it just causes inattention or hyperactivity and maybe some impulsiveness. But that is such a limited, tiny view of what ADHD truly is. That doesn't begin to touch the surface of the true symptoms and the impact that it has on someone's life. So I'm a part of 3 adult ADHD groups on Facebook. Really great groups. I'll have them linked in the description below so you can check them out. But I asked each of them to tell me what their most problematic symptoms of ADHD was. Some symptoms and problems I've heard of, others not so much and hadn't come to mind until now. I'm going to share with you what the real symptoms of ADHD looks like, what the real impact on someone's life is. Starting with impulsivity. Some of the problems that impulsivity causes is being quick to anger or the urge to spit out every thought that comes to mind, talking over people, oversharing with strangers, poor money management and overspending. I know all about that one. And the tendency for this all or nothing type of thinking. Now, what does hyperactivity actually look like? For me and many others, it's racing thoughts, just never-ending thoughts buzzing through your head day in, day out, and who the hell left the music on? In addition to these racing thoughts, there's at least one song, if not 2, stuck in my head at all given times. Fidgeting with something on your desk, tapping your hands, bouncing your leg, the need to constantly be on the move or be involved in some kind of a project. Not tolerant of boredom at all, and always feeling rushed, even when there's no need to be. Now, what does emotional regulation look like? Being over emotional. I know all about that one. Easily brought to anger or frustration, quick and intense feelings and emotions. These come and go very quickly, which to some people might even look like bipolar disorder. Feeling constant overwhelm and being trapped in a never-ending shame spiral. Now, what does focus and attention actually look like? What are the impairments? How about being able to balance a work and social life? Not being able to focus on both at the same time and having to choose one over the other. Not being able to stay focused on long-term goals. Kind of hard to plan for retirement when your life is nothing but the here and now. When your attention gets pulled this way and that way all throughout life. The one that I hate the most, myself, the constant brain fog and just general confusion. This it makes you feel dumb, even though you know you aren't. Reading comprehension, listening to conversations, crippling indecision. That's never fun. Now, what are some of the impairments of working memory? Well, this basically means short-term memory problems, misplacing items, remembering simple verbal instructions, even though you were just told what to do, forgetting names right after being introduced to somebody. How about starting one task, getting slightly distracted, and then going off on a bunch of different tangents, never to come back and complete the thing you originally started? Thinking of something to say and then forgetting it when it's your turn to speak, regardless of how important it was. Here's a fun one. Ever heard of time blindness? Having ADHD completely obliterates your sense of time. Not being able to properly assess the passage of time. Always wondering to yourself, where did all the time go? Not being able to properly estimate how long something will take. Always thinking you have plenty of time, or actually even starting off with plenty of time, but before you know it, all that time is gone. which usually leads to you constantly being late, regardless of how important the appointment was. Basically just poor time management overall. And time blindness also messes with your sleep regulation. Organization and prioritization. How about generally disorganized? Everything's in the clutter. You don't have files, you have piles. Not being able to prioritize tasks or the steps necessary to complete them. And by this time, you've probably tried them all. How about anxiety over starting a task? Causes problems with detail-oriented work. One that I personally struggle with is not being able to articulate thoughts in the heat of the moment. Self-regulation, procrastinating, lack of motivation and/or energy to perform a task, even if you do have the passion or the desire to get it done. Being inconsistent with performance. One day you're able to do things just fine. Most of the time you can't, but every once in a while you have this shining day out of nowhere and things just line up. You wish every day could feel like that, but you have no control over this. Now, big misconception, this has nothing to do with intelligence. This is usually in spite of you being rather intelligent, even though it makes you feel otherwise. How about getting motivated finally, but at the wrong time? 10 minutes before bedtime isn't the best time to start editing videos. Believe me, I know. Other problems with self-regulation? How about hyperfocus? You know, hyperfocus is actually known as perseveration. What it means is you're not able to break yourself away from a task to shift your focus onto another one. And while you may feel that this comes in handy from time to time, a lot of times it means something else in your life is suffering. And a lot of times that suffering is done by your loved ones. Now, some of the other problems that can come along with ADHD are things that don't really fit into a category. These are things like being able to keep friends. I can't tell you how many times that showed up in the group. Just being able to keep friends. Other relationship issues. Some people may have a significant other that they get bored of. ADHD is prone to a lot of relationship issues. Well, I hope you found this video informative. I know for me, I learned a couple new things that I didn't know about ADHD, and I want to give a big thanks to everybody in the Facebook group that contributed to this video. This couldn't have happened without you. Let me know in the comments below, what's your most troubling symptoms of ADHD? Me personally, mine is time management, motivation, and working memory problems. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Until next time, take care of yourself and be well.